Alright, so I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to find a place I can put my phone that it won't fall in a fish tank. I don't know how well that's going. Try this. Alright. So, the case for treason. Okay. There's no open water below this one right now. Alright, this is kind of stuck. Now there's open water near this phone, but not below it. So here goes. America has a serious problem on its hands. And that problem can be summed up by discovering what the word Novorossiya means in the American white nationalist context. Okay? Now, you can assume that things have changed since I was, 10, 11 years old. And that's a logical assumption, I suppose. Or you could assume that whoever I heard this from was just full of shit. That, too, also would be a logical assumption. If it weren't for the fact that we can see clear evidence that the proposed hypothetical scenario that I put forward previously has been happening in every perceivable way, you can tell that this has been happening since the time in which it was supposed to happen, which was when Barack Obama, our first African American president, got elected. And in case you haven't seen my previous videos, the white nationalistic plan regarding Novorossiya was a contingency for when white man lost America. Okay? They knew the day would come when just the minority populations were too much, and that day was marked, hypothetically in the future, as the day when a black man became president. Okay? Like, I even remember having discussions about whether it would be a big deal if a Mexican became president. And while this wasn't something I had discussed with, like different family members who I thought were kind of, racisty growing up. Because, I grew up in Texas and Louisiana. I've met a few racist people, believe it or not. And, well, the thing is, you have a peculiar set of people in Houston, Texas. See, actually, the name Houston comes from an Americanized version of the very same family that Adolf Hitler was supposedly come from, which is called the Hister family, which for some reason they glanced over when they told you about the Nostradamus prophecies. I'm not sure about the motives there. But, Okay, so if this plan exists, okay, you would need a whistleblower, say somebody who used to be at least a recruit for skinheads. Okay, that was me back in 1991. Okay, and well, you'd basically have to just deduce this logically. Who has gone beyond reason to oppose this president? Who has gone beyond party, beyond patriotism to oppose the law of this land? Okay. And we need to really watch how much we bury ourselves into a corner with false equivalencies. Okay? Because nobody will hear from us again. See, the whole reason we have a community here, all right, the whole reason why things have been working as well as they have for this long was simply because white people who really, for some reason, being white is, most of what they care about, those people began to feel insecure. Okay? And this was capitalized on during the time of Bill Clinton. Because it's like, oh wait, between NAFTA and how well he's getting along with black people, I don't think he's half the redneck we were hoping he was. But you know what? Motherfucker did his job. Yeah. And then, while Bush was in charge, other than how Bush stayed in charge, you didn't hear a whole lot about the racial divide in this country. It was like if you got on an airplane and you saw some suspicious looking, possibly Muslim people. What'd you do, white people? You located the nearest black man and fantasized, he'll protect us. Or you made it count. Okay, wait. 15 Mexicans, 3 Chinese people, 47 white people, 23 black people. Nope, I don't think it's worth it. I think we're okay. Yep, people think that shit all the time. It's hilarious. It's been a gratifyingly long time since I've had to fly a plane. Or, be flown in a plane. Sieving out baby brine shrimp if you're interested. You want some? It's delicious. So, this whole thing that's happening behind the scenes, you don't have to tap phones. You won't be able to intercept communications. You won't be able to figure out where these people's loyalties lie, because they're all going to try to progress this agenda while hiding anything that overtly ties them back to Moscow. Okay? And while I might get angry and say, treason, 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 they need to suffer and, arrest them. No, most of them are not complicit enough. Oh, my back. Most of them are not complicit enough to have legal action taken against them. But what you cannot deny that needs to happen is A, a historical reality check, and B, a present day reality check. Because in the Crusades, you find a very logical reason for Europeans as a whole to have a serious fucking chip on their shoulders. Okay? The fact of the matter is, the Roman Empire was converting to Christianity peacefully because of the example of real martyrs, and then these phonies showed up and started killing everyone, and now want you to hear all about their fake martyrs. And we fought back a couple times, and that's called the Crusades, and that's all everybody thinks about. That's bullshit. And as much as I've made religious hypocrites suffer and face their true colors, it's not quite as easy of a path to force liberals or atheists, usually persecutory atheists, to face the truth that Christians defended their right to be atheists in Europe and should not be mocked or have their heritage taken away from them. And the reason why I say this is a hard lesson for me to have to teach by force or with magic is because I designed fate in a particular way so people can learn via experience, and to experience the fate that it would require to learn the consequences of this lesson, the world would become a very bloody place. In fact, it is a much worse path than we are presently standing on, but that path still lies dead ahead. And I think I've made myself clear about what needs to be changed, what needs to be investigated, and what needs to be acknowledged. Because the fact of the matter is, when atheism becomes centralized around persecuting religion, it's no longer protected by the Constitution. It is in fact prohibited by it. Because I have the right not to have my religion persecuted. That's all we're asking from people who should consider themselves Gnostic, but have come up with this atheist word, as if they've proven somehow that the wind doesn't blow.